What's up, my juice lovers? Charlie Wetlaufer here, second generation owner of Good Nature. Next to me, I've got our newest product, Good Nature Hummingbird. I've got one of each model. I've got the Hummingbird Pro, Hummingbird Pro XL. It's our brand new commercial cold press juicer, which is great for business or home. So I'm going to talk about the similarities and the differences between the two models, and hopefully help you decide which one is best for you. I've got some notes next to me that I'll be referring to during the video, just so I don't forget anything. I've also got a copy of each spec sheet. So we have these one-page spec sheets available for download on our website. I'll put a link in comments. You can also find it in the knowledge base section at goodnature.com. The similarities, these are both the same technology. They're a commercial cold press juicer, patented process by Good Nature. We've been making commercial cold press juicers for 49 years since my dad started the company in the 1970s. So I like to say we know a thing or two about juicing. These both are very similar. They have the same grinder, same body, same internal working components, same control system, and same features. So it's basically the same machine. They are both commercial grade, meaning they're made from industrial strength materials. We've got lots of solid metal where the machine has to be strong. And we've got a stainless steel blade that cuts the fruit. And the plastic parts are commercial grade, BPA-free, food-safe plastic. The same material that your blender jars might be made out of if you own a smoothie shop. Also, commercial grade means they're continuous duty. So they can work for 24 hours a day straight without overheating or needing to take a break. We've actually cycle tested this machine to over 100,000 cycles. So we built this rig. It was like a robot running the machine over and over and over 100,000 times, and it didn't break down. And what that translates to is, let's say you use it 3 times a day, that would be 91 years of use. Hummingbird features NSF certification, which is a national certification that means it's safe to use and easy to clean. So safe to use for your employees or yourself, meaning you're not going to injure yourself using it, and easy to clean. There's no little areas where harmful bacteria can harbor in this machine. All the food contact parts actually lift right out, including all the grinder parts that touch the produce and the press and the juice container. So the machine itself doesn't really get dirty. It's only the parts you can take to your dishwasher. Also, the recipe bin. This is an add-on product, the recipe bin. It can hold your recipe while you're juicing. Hangs off the front of the machine. This is compatible on both models. And this thing is great because it lets you prep your recipes ahead of time. Hang it off the machine, do your juicing. And it doesn't take up extra counter space. Like if you had a bowl of produce next to you, that takes up extra counter space, which you may or may not have the room for. Okay, let's get into the differences. The number one key difference that sets these machines apart is going to be the press capacity. Hummingbird Pro can hold up to 2 to 3 pounds of produce, depending on the recipe. And Pro XL can actually hold up to 5 to 6 pounds, depending on the recipe. So it's actually double the volume. It may not look like double the size, but as you can see, if we compare them like this, the Pro press chamber literally fits inside of the Pro XL chamber. So what that means for you is if you're running a business or maybe just make a lot of juice at home, Pro XL is going to give you up to twice the amount of juice per press, which equates to about double the amount of juice per hour as well. So that's going to be the biggest difference. Other more minor differences. In order to make room for the bigger press, Hummingbird Pro XL is a larger machine. It's a couple inches wider, it's a couple inches taller, and also the juice containers are different sizes. The juice container on Hummingbird Pro holds about 85 ounces of juice, and on the Pro XL holds about 120 ounces of juice because you might need it. Also, I'd like to add that both of the juice containers have these really nice engineered pour spouts. So it makes it easy to pour into a pitcher, into bottles if you're bottling direct from the container. Something you might want to think about is storing the machine. So you may want to check out the spec sheet and get the measurements and make sure you have room for it if you're not keeping it on your counter. A lot of people just leave it on the counter full time, especially businesses. They don't need to put it away for storage. I can fit the Pro XL in my home kitchen counter underneath the counter. The cupboards are full height, so it fits in there no problem. The weight of the machines is slightly different. So the Pro is about 30 pounds. The Pro XL is about 35 pounds. It's about 5 pounds heavier. But both of them are quite manageable and easy for me to lift. Might be hard for some people, depending on if you can lift 35 pounds or not. But so I went over most of the technical differences. Now what I would like to do is sort of give you a visual display of the quantity of juice they make. So Hummingbird Pro, in one press cycle, can make 2 to 3 12-ounce bottles of juice. I've even gotten 4 out of some recipes. You can get up to 4 depending on how juicy it is. The Pro XL is 4 to 6 bottles. Okay, so that's what those volumes look like. And the way that math breaks down on capacity per hour, it takes usually a couple minutes to grind your recipe, and then the press cycle is 4 minutes. And it is press and walk away, so you don't have to stand at the press while it's working. You can hit the press button and walk away. You can get ready for the next batch of juice. You can get your bottles out. You can do a little cleanup, whatever you have to do. So even though it's a 6-minute press cycle, the labor time is only 2 minutes per cycle. So at a 6-minute press cycle, you get 3 bottles of juice. There's 60 minutes in an hour, so 10 cycles per hour means you can make 30 bottles of juice on Hummingbird Pro and 60 bottles of juice on Pro XL in 1 hour. So what you should be thinking about is how much juice you want to make per juicing session and how much time do you want to spend making it. So let's say you want to make 9 bottles of juice. You can do that in 3 press cycles in Hummingbird Pro. It'd be about 20 minutes. It'd be only about 10 minutes on the Pro XL. But now what you want to think about is how often do I want to juice? So let's say you want to make 9 bottles of juice per day for your family. You could either make it every day, or you could decide I only want to make it every 4 days. So if you want to make 9 juice per day, but you only want to juice every 4 days, that means in one juicing session, you need to make 36 bottles of juice. So you could do that in a little more than an hour on Hummingbird Pro and about 30 minutes on Pro XL. Now, what if your juice volume is greater? What if you need to make 30 bottles of juice per day? That would take you an hour in Hummingbird Pro, 30 minutes on Pro XL. But let's say I need to make 30 bottles of juice for every day, but I only want to juice once every 4 days. And that means 120 bottles. So now you're bumping all the way up to 4 hours of work on the Pro, where it only take you 2 hours of work on the Pro XL. And that, in my mind, that's kind of when it starts to make a big difference, is when you're talking about hours of time saved versus the 2. So if you're a business, you should almost definitely be looking at the Pro XL. If you're juicing at home, or maybe you're like a restaurant and the juice isn't your focal point for the business, then you're probably fine with the Pro. Something to keep in mind for a juice business, let's say your business is a juice bar and you sell bottles of juice in a refrigerator. You may think, oh, well, I only sell 30 bottles of juice a day. But as a juice business, you should definitely be pushing juice cleanses as much as possible. That is where the profitability really starts to step up for a juice business, is when you can sell a lot of juice cleanses. So juice cleanses are usually 6 bottles of juice per day. So if a group of 5 people walks in and says, hey, we all want to do a 3-day juice cleanse, now you're talking about 6 bottles of juice times 3 days, 18 bottles times 5. Now you're looking at 80 plus bottles of juice you have to make for these people that's ready tomorrow. So all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh man, we really should have gone for the Pro XL. So if you're deciding between the two in your juice business, definitely recommend going for the Pro XL. So that's my little overview of the similarities and differences between Pro and Pro XL. I hope this is informational, helped you make a decision. If there's anything I missed, if you have any questions at all, just drop a question in the comments below. You can also connect with me on Instagram at GoodNaturedPro, or drop us an inquiry on our website at goodnature.com. Thanks for watching. Happy juicing.